Hello Internet and welcome back to another wrestling review. Today we're going to review the Royal Rumble 2015. I haven't got a lot to say about it particularly, and I do have a lot to say about it. It's a very complicated review. Especially with my thoughts and feelings and so forth going on with the product at the moment. So let's get started right from the beginning. New Age Outlaws and the Ascension. You know, seeing the beginning, it just shows the Ascension getting buried by the APA and the New Age Outlaws. Yeah, so they're basically a Legion of Doom / the Road Warriors ripoff, but not even they deserve to be buried that much straight away. So, you know, whatever. The result, Ascension win. It wasn't the best match to start with, so I didn't really care. The kickoff match was the New Day and Cesaro, you know. I didn't see it. I have no intention of hunting it down to watch it. I think Cesaro and that lot won, so it's a shame, you know. But judging Kofi Kingston, Big E, and what was the other guy? I can't remember his name now. For Kofi's team, they just looked bored in the actual Rumble itself. So no harm lost there with that. So I won't bother continuing with that one. Damien Mizdow and The Miz versus the Usos. That was pretty entertaining. You know, seeing Damien Mizdow mimic The Miz. It was kind of annoying at first when I was watching it, but obviously he's the stunt double and so forth. But as I watched more and more, the crowd looked really into Mizdow, and I was more interested in watching what he was doing and how he was playing. And you know, he's good. He's got the crowd behind him now at the moment. Whether it was just the Philadelphia arena area, I don't know, but you know, he's doing really well. You know, he's definitely got the crowd behind him. Hopefully it will turn into something. It was a shame he wasn't utilized in the Rumble for much, you know. Then The Miz came out and tried to take the spot, and then he got knocked out, and it was just, you know, it's a silly gimmick to keep him out of the Rumble, but the tag team match itself was really entertaining. It was good, loads of near falls, and okay, it may be Rerun-A-Rama, but yeah, it was okay to watch. So, you know, the Usos went over after a bit of bickering and so forth, and The Miz trying to do a Marty Jannetty from SummerSlam 1990 and do it all himself, but you know, that's obviously the character at the moment, so you know, the Usos go over and moving on with that. Paige and Natalya versus the Bella Twins. The Bella Twins, I always get that mixed up. I predicted that the twins would get it because there'd be a falling out between Paige and Natalya, or Natalie, or whatever her name is. I was wrong about that, but I was wrong about the win. It seemed that Paige and Natalya were getting on really well. It would have been nice to have seen more of Paige in the ring, and a few more tags, but can't have everything you want, as Jagger once said. You know, you can't always get what you want. Not a bad match, you know. I haven't skipped a Divas match in a while, so it's okay. There was better last year when they were singles, but you know, for a tag match it was okay, and it was a decent filler. But yeah, the Bella Twins over again, so you know, maybe, I don't know, hopefully it'll go back to some decent singles action. Then we've got the triple threat match. I couldn't decisively, I should say, call a winner on my predictions video, because triple threats are sometimes kind of difficult to work out who you think is going to win the match, and every outcome just seemed to be wrong in some respect, like Brock Lesnar keeping the belt. I didn't think WWF was going to keep him as the champion going all the way into Mania, and there is a chance he will lose the belt at the next pay-per-view, Fastlane. It was just the completely stupid and wrong decision to ever consider John Cena to have the championship belt again. You know, he'd be tied with Ric Flair in terms of having as many championship runs. Cena shouldn't be anywhere near that level. And I'll talk more about some of the things that annoy me about him in a second. And for Rollins, he was fantastic in this. You know, as a chicken shit coward in some parts of it, and high flying and everything. This guy is going to be a very good main eventer. I hope that WWE doesn't keep doing what they do to everybody, start, stop, and just fucking ruin him, because at the moment he's doing really, really well. And hopefully, you know, there will be something good for him on the horizon, and he can stay, keep building him, and he'll be a credible, decent headliner that is hardcore and won't be going anywhere. I hope that they do stick with him, you know, and he's going to continue to blossom. You know, he's not got much more to do, but it's again, like Roman Reigns, it's a bit too soon for him to be just continuously headlining. He can still, you know, fluctuate between the mid card and the higher card, like Rick Rude, Ravishing Rick Rude, and Mr. Perfect, $1 Million Man. Back in the 90s and the 80s, they were the men who could, you know, go between mid and higher tier. That's what Seth needs to be at the moment, just so he can learn how to deal with the pressure of being in the main event, and then also, you know, continuously challenge himself by working with technical wrestlers and so forth, so he can learn how to work the crowd and so forth. But a very good performance by Seth. As everyone should know by now, Lesnar won the match. A fucking amazing finish. I was into the triple threat for quite a bit. I loved the start of it with Lesnar just destroying everybody, and then them taking turns into trying to stop Lesnar. One thing that really did piss me off, and it just reminded me of all the reasons I hate Cena. You know, he'd take a fucking German suplex, and then he'd get up when Seth hit him, but he'd sell for Lesnar. And then the biggest plain example of this, go back to SummerSlam, I think it's 2010. They DDT'd him on the concrete ground. There's no way he should have got up, and then he got up and won the fucking match 60 seconds later, I think it was. In this, he gets thrown pretty much headfirst into the steel steps. Not even a minute goes by, and he's in the ring to break up the pinfall. Why? Seriously, WWE, Vince, Triple H, whoever the fuck is in charge of doing this, why? Seriously, that ruined my attention into the match. I was thinking, yeah, this is really, really good, you know, it's going to be triple threat, they're all going to be doing this, that, and the other, and he just ruined it, for no fucking reason other than being John Cena. And I know I'm on the bandwagon of pissing and moaning about John, but seriously, this guy has been on top since 2005. Well, he started getting into the top in 2003 against Brock Lesnar at Backlash, and he got spanked. Then he won the US belt at Mania 20, and then he won the main event, the main belt, sorry, the WWE Championship, I think it was, at WrestleMania 21. And then he got switched to Raw, and then everyone started booing the shit out of him. It doesn't matter anymore. Vince is never going to turn him heel. Now, it's a case of, fuck you, we've got your money, and we don't care. I was really into the match until that Steps incident. Lesnar sold. Seth Rollins sold. It's just Cena all the fucking time. And quite frankly, I've had enough. I really don't want to watch any fucking match who he's against. I was interested to see how they could work the triple threat, and I was looking forward to see how they would end it. If they would take the belt off of Brock, who would pin him or who would get pinned? If Lesnar would win, how would he win? Or would Heyman do the swerve? Heyman didn't swerve. I'm really happy about that. You know, spoiler alert, Um, the fucking end is magical. Lesnar's on a stretcher, about to get ready to go, and then he just jumps off the thing, you know, after Rollins is going nuts and just goes fucking mental, drills Seth Rollins and Cena, and wins, and then staggers out holding his side plain like he's broke his ribs after being put through a table. I liked how it progressed, where, you know, Lesnar's dominating, but the problem is it's just not consistent enough. They should have teamed up for a while to put him down, which was what they were doing on and off. But it's so slapstick with the way Cena does it. But Rollins is definitely one to keep an eye on. I hope he keeps doing well, and I really hope now that they've kept the belt on Lesnar, he keeps it to Mania, and he fucking hammers Roman Reigns and only loses it because The Rock comes out. So, well done Brock, well done Heyman. Then we come to the Royal Rumble itself. Now, I wasn't expecting much from the Royal Rumble itself. I haven't really been interested in a Royal Rumble match since 2013, because when The Rock won the belt from CM Punk, that's when I really couldn't be pissed with the Royal Rumble anymore, because it was way too predictable, and you've already set the match up rather than giving it some more leeway. Last year's was mediocre at best, and I feel bad for Dave Bautista. I know Dickie Hatz will love me saying that, but the guy didn't deserve to be booed. It's, you know, he came in, he took a job, yeah, and he didn't, you know, you can moan all you want, it's, you know, but the WWF isn't going to listen. So we started off this year, and it was okay, and then we had Bubba Ray Dudley come in, and I was as surprised as anybody else. You know, Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, didn't make any fucking reference to anything in TNA, which doesn't surprise me, but Bubba looked pretty good. He was really fun, him and R-Truth mimicking the Dudley Boys for a little while. You know, it was good fun. We also had the Boogeyman come back for whatever reason. I think he'd have got more of a pop from bringing back Papa Shango. DDP came back to some response, and Diamond Cuttered a load of people. I loved DDP back in the day, and I actually saw him at an independent wrestling show in Bristol last year in 2014, and yeah, whatever, you know. I just wish he would go away now. He's doing yoga, just stay away. Yeah, it's again, your time is gone, hang it up. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, I hate you for saying that. It's my opinion, it's my thoughts. I'm sorry if you don't like them. We'll come to the most controversial topic first of all. I made reference in my predictions video to the 2005 Royal Rumble, where Eddie Guerrero was probably the most over face in the Royal Rumble, and Edge eliminated him. And the place booed the fuck out of the building. Everybody was not happy with that result. Daniel Bryan entered the Royal Rumble, did not leave the Royal Rumble the way the fans wanted. He was eliminated quite early, considering. And is this a good thing or a bad thing? Firstly, from a fan point of view, for everybody who loves Daniel Bryan and is on the Daniel Bryan bandwagon, it's a very bad decision. You're not going to dispute that. I personally think, as much as I would have loved Daniel Bryan to be in the Final Four or to have won it, I am looking at the point of his health. And I'm looking at the point of the WWF with their championship. They know well in advance now that his neck is bad. It's not like when Edge wrestled at WrestleMania and then retired the next day because they just found out. They know how bad he is, and he's even been quoted to say, "I'm not going to ignore the doctor's advice, but I'm not changing my ring style just yet." Steve Austin had a fucked neck for years and altered his ring style to prolong his time in the ring. If Daniel Bryan is not going to change anything in his arsenal, I didn't see him do the diving headbutt at the Rumble, but I did see him do the stinger drop kick from the top rope. You need to stop doing this, mate. Seriously, your neck's fucked. You've been out for nearly a year after headlining WrestleMania, which essentially pissed off everyone in the booking office, and Vince and Triple H more out. It upset the fans because you got hurt. We don't want you to be hurt. We want you to be safe. We want you to be healthy. The fact that you didn't win the Royal Rumble is a choice from Vince and Triple H and whoever's in charge of the creation side, that they cannot put the trust to give you the belt just yet. And the fact they don't want you to have the belt as well, but that's because, you know, you're the fan favourite. I was surprised to see that he was eliminated early, but not that surprised. It's one of those, I thought, oh, he didn't last to the final four. But again, it was like, well, I can see. And then the crowd was dead for a lot of it. Bray Wyatt was this year's Iron Man. You know, he did really, really well. I've still got a soft spot for the guy. I still love him. We had a mini Wyatt family reunion, and poor, is it Curtis Axel? Is that horrible name or whatever they've given him? Gets taken out by the member of the Wyatt family, and they have a quick shindig together, and Wyatt lasts. Rusev was equally as impressive this year, you know, tie in Wyatt's eliminations. You know, Rusev's not bad. The problem is he's obviously got the quote unquote foreigner gimmick. So what are they going to do with him after that dries up? It's a shame because he's really good in the ring. You know, the Goldust, Stardust, they're weird. But yeah, they were pretty entertaining in their own right. Dean Ambrose comes out as the lunatic fringe as always and does what he does best. Yeah, it was an okay Royal Rumble, but the crowd just really died when Bryan was taken out of it. What was the other things that happened? Kane surpassed everybody to become the sole most eliminations holder. He's surpassed Shawn Michaels. I think he's up to, like, is it 42 or 43, something like that? I lost count. Once he eliminated, I think it was Dolph Ziggler with Big Show. And speaking of Big Show, he's now into the top 5 of the most eliminations of all time. So fair play to you guys. You know, Kane, Glenn Jacobs, a guy who was pretty much on his way out of the WWE and then was given the Kane gimmick in Survivor Series 1997, and, well, the Hell in the Cell, I should say. 1997, but 20 years. Yeah. Big Show, 15 years. Who would, you know, that's as impressive as Mark Henry, 1996. Just really, you know, saying that though, Glenn, you know, Kane's still okay. You know, he can wrestle, so, for a big guy. So, well done to you guys on that one there. Dolph Ziggler, all that work that happened at Survivor Series and how amazing you looked, you might as well just ask for your papers and go to New Japan. Seriously, they don't give a fuck about you. They just proved that at the Royal Rumble. They pissed on all the fans with that as well. The fact that the final 5, it's not the final 4, was Ambrose, Reigns, Big Show and Kane. It just really, for once, could we have a final 4 where it's all new people? Ambrose got eliminated by Kane and Big Show, and the crowd was going apeshit. I mean, I've got the Sky box office version, so I don't know if anyone who got it from the network, more on that in a minute, could hear, but there was chants of "this is bullshit, you fucked up everything," you know. I could hear it all. The crowd were pissed at a lot of the decisions. When Daniel Bryan was eliminated, the crowd wasn't anywhere near as loud as when Eddie Guerrero was eliminated in 2005. When Ambrose was eliminated, they were quite loud, they were quite vocal, and they were booing the shit out of everyone in that ring, because no one cares to see the Big Show or Kane against Roman Reigns, and no one wanted to see Roman Reigns in that spot. The fact that they had their little bickering, which led to the whole infamous, if anybody's seen Royal Rumble 1996, 3 people: Yokozuna, Vader, Shawn Michaels. Any wrestling fan who has seen that Royal Rumble match will know exactly what I'm talking about. Vader and Yokozuna had a little scuffle next to the ropes. Shawn Michaels runs over, tips their legs and over the ropes, and they're both eliminated. Vader comes in, beats the fuck out of Shawn and knocks him out. Leaves him in the ring. This, what we got 18 years later, sorry, 17 years later, because we're in 2015. Big Show and Kane have a little fight, because Big Show tries, again, quote unquote, to save Kane when he's trying to eliminate him. They have their little fight, and then they're next to the ropes. Roman Reigns comes over and pathetically tries to do what Shawn did in 96 and put him over the ropes the way he did. And it just looks so fucking awful. And then I'm looking at it, I didn't realise that someone else hadn't been eliminated, but even this is getting old now. They come back in, attack Reigns. It was like a squirrel with a flick knife. Seriously, it was like watching a baby throw a pea at you. It was just pathetic. The punches and the kicks. Out comes The Rock, saves the fucking day, and the crowd cheered for The Rock, and as soon as he gave Roman a handshake, they booed the fuck out of the building. Then comes back Rusev, because he hasn't been he hasn't been eliminated, and I was wondering why everyone was screaming, "We want Rusev!" I thought, he couldn't have been eliminated. And then in he comes, just like Santino Marella, the other year, and then he's quickly eliminated, and then the crowd are disgusted. There's your 2015 winner. 2009, Randy Orton went into that Royal Rumble white hot. He'd knocked out Vince on the Monday. He went in, and that's all the promos were. Is Orton going to survive? Everyone's got a chance to win the Rumble, and then Randy Orton's music hits. And then he tears through the Rumble and wins because of the help from the Legacy, eliminating Triple H. And then they fucked it up the next night of Raw by putting him with Shane, but he was still white hot. The fact that Roman Reigns has taken time off because he was injured, it's not his fault. It's a physical sport. You're gonna get injured. You have to keep your health in priority. The problem with the WWF is they are not listening to the fans anymore. And I think the reason for this is because of John Cena. They have not listened once when it came to John Cena and turning him heel. They are more worried about losing merchandise sales than they are ticket sales. You've got a big problem now, Vince. This is the segue to what's happened after the Rumble. When you announced the WWF network, everyone was skeptical. You pissed off every pay-per-view provider by putting all your pay-per-views on the network. So instead of getting $50, $60 or $70, whatever it is over there in America, per pay-per-view, plus what you get elsewhere, you're now only getting $9.99 a month. That is a fucking hell of a drop. I haven't got a degree in business, I don't run a massive business, but I know to drop that much money per pay-per-view is a bit much, and it's wrong. You need to recoup it somehow. You need to get people to consistently buy the network, to tell their friends about the network. You need to be offering the best matches. The people want who they want on top, and to see them flourishing. You're getting way too much like WCW in the dying days, where you're relying on part-timers and old people to do the job. I have been a fan since 1990, off and on, and I cannot watch this product for long periods because it's not booked, it's not written, it's not even written well. You know, a TV series is written pretty well, this isn't. It's everything that made it magical is dying. Vince said it himself on Steve Austin's podcast. It's not wrestling, it's some sort of entertainment. The problem is, you're now losing your fans in the hundreds and the thousands. You can't put out Royal Rumble 2015 exactly like 2014 and expect people to care. I'm not joking, folks. You could go and watch last year's Royal Rumble and it's the same output. A person no one fucking wants winning the Royal Rumble wins it. Simple. The same crowd, the same thing happened. The only difference is the person they wanted in the Rumble was in there. Problem was, he was eliminated really quick. And so was everybody else they wanted to win. Roman Reigns isn't going to go anywhere for a long time. He is Vince's new John Cena, and I don't think John Cena likes that either, but we're going to find out how that goes over the course of the years. The reason why I say Vince has a bit of trouble, if you can get one of the top 3 trends going on Twitter within 60 minutes of your program finishing, you're doing something very, very well or very, very wrong. Hashtag cancel WWE Network. That's all I've seen since I woke up at 7:30 on the 26th of January. Are you going to put that on Raw? I bet you don't. You're always obsessed with Twitter. Oh yeah, we've done Twitter, we've done this, we've done that, we've done the other. Are you going to say, oh well, you know, Twitter says that everyone's going to cancel the network because it sucked? The sad thing is, the Royal Rumble has fallen from being my favourite pay-per-view. I'd always thought it was better than Mania and SummerSlam and Survivors. And unfortunately, 2013's left me with a very, very bitter taste in my mouth because of The Rock and Cena 2 being built at the Mania, up to Mania at that Rumble when it should have been a bit later. It should have been at Elimination Chamber. So I didn't really care for last year's Rumble. I've only watched it recently, and again, I didn't really enjoy it. Much like SummerSlam and Night of Champions, I've gone into this with a very open mind, and I thought I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm intrigued to see how they do the triple threat, even though I don't like John Cena, and I'm intrigued to see how they end the Royal Rumble. Needless to say, the triple threat was really, really interesting and entertaining, albeit for one spot with Cena, and the Royal Rumble itself was good. It was nice to see Bray Wyatt do really, really well, and Rusev, and it was nice to see Damien Sandow / Mizdow getting a good pop. It was nice to see Bubba Ray come back and do his spots for nostalgia, but you know, do I care that Roman Reigns won the Rumble? Not really. It was pretty obvious. Do I want him to win the Rumble? Again, now it doesn't care. It doesn't matter what I want. You know, I would have loved to have seen Bryan win it, but again, his health is more important. Dean Ambrose probably would have been nice as well, but you know, that's wrestling, folks. So, in conclusion, am I happy that for what I spent on the pay-per-view? Not really. Am I going to watch it again? Maybe not. I may watch the triple threat match again. You know, it's always good to watch John Cena get thrown around the ring by Brock Lesnar, but then I got SummerSlam for that. Yeah. All in all, they did make reference to Chris Benoit winning from number 1. They didn't mention his name, but you know, finally they've said, oh, only 2 people have won it from number 1. You know, which is good that they've finally acknowledged that, but not the greatest Royal Rumble, in my opinion. Not the worst, though. You know, 95 was pretty bad. 94 was meh. It was okay. The ending didn't matter. You know, no one really cares. It's all about the run up to WrestleMania now. So, what I would think is that it's time to think ahead and what we're going to be doing with Daniel Bryan, what we're going to be doing with Dean Ambrose, with Bray Wyatt. Is The Rock going to come back in some way, shape or form? Hopefully it's going to be him and Triple H, if Rocky is coming back for a match. So yes, that's my thoughts on the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't advise buying it on Blu-ray or DVD unless you're a mad collector. I don't know. I can honestly say I'm up in the air about who's going into Mania and who's going to do anything. It may be interesting to see how they put Bryan in or whatever, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But as for the Royal Rumble, it's certainly not one of the best, and it's not one of the worst. It's, you know, it's more like that 96 type of Royal Rumble where all the, you know, it was okay. The matches were average, but, you know, it was debatable. So, it's worth a watch. The match of the card, though, was the triple threat match. The Royal Rumble itself is there. So, on that note, it's time to say goodbye and wrap things up. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.